Hi, this practice is about 40 minutes long and we're focusing more on the core as I had a lot of chocolate Easter eggs over Easter weekend. So here we go. Sit in a comfortable position to start and begin rolling your shoulders. Taking deep, slow breaths, and as you do this, perhaps set your intention for the day or for your afternoon or evening. Stretch your arms out in front of you now, breathing in, curl the spine, lift the chin, breathing out, round the spine, sink backwards. Breathing in, open your arms and open the chest, breathing out, round. And again, opening the arms, lifting the chin, and breathing out. This time, wrap your arms around you, grab the shoulder blades, and just take a few deep breaths here in this hug. In confinement, we're getting less oxytocin from touch, so it's important, especially if you're on your own, to touch and give yourself little hugs to get the oxytocin rising in the body. Clasp your hands behind you, stretch the arms straight, and lift the chin. Take a few more deep breaths into the chest, the side ribs. Allow the front of the body to expand. And releasing, look forward, bring your hands down, and we'll do cat and cow, curling the spine, looking skyward, breathing in and breathing out, grounding, looking towards the belly button. Come back to being seated, and I used a roller to roll the hip flexors, the fronts of my hips. There's a hard roller and there's a foam soft roller inside. If you don't have a roller, you could roll up your mat and roll on top of the mat, or you could use a bottle of water, be sure it's full, or you could use a glass bottle, place it underneath your hips, and rock up and down from the tops of the thighs to the hip bones. If you notice, I've got my hands on the floor, all of the weight is on the roller, and I'm rocking forward and backwards. If you don't have a roller or anything to roll on, that's okay. Place your hands underneath your forehead now and lay on your tummy. Simply take deep, slow breaths in and out of the tummy. See if you can allow your back to rise and fall with your breath. This exercise can be important to help the diaphragm to move properly. Come up onto your elbows now. Press your elbows down. So this is Sphinx pose. You can get a little stretch through the abdomen. Lift your chin. If you want to go higher, you can press down into the floor in your hands, so you get a full abdominal stretch. Be gentle, as this is a passive stretch, and the low back there might be some compression, so come down the elbows if it's too much. Bring your left hand next to your ribs and twist to your left, looking over your left shoulder. This is going to stretch out the oblique muscles, which are part of the abdominal complex. Bring the left elbow back down. Set the right hand down, fingertips, and look over your right shoulder. Coming back to center, bring the elbow back down, and walk your hands forward once again, lying flat on your belly. And move the hips from side to side to release. And set your hands under your shoulders, come up onto your knees. Open the knees, toes touching each other, and come into child's pose. A little stretch of the back. Connecting yourself to your breath during these first initial postures. Slowing the breath down. Seeing if you can bring the breath fully into the body. Now stretch your arms in front of you, tucking your toes. Rise to downward facing dog. Pedal the feet right and left. Moving the knees, let the hips move. Stretching both legs as straight as possible. Take a deep breath in. Move into a plank position. Breathe out. Go to down dog again. Do this about 5 times. Breathing in and breathing out to down dog. Back and forth. Breathing into plank and back again to down dog. Lower the knees down now and move yourself down to the floor. Point your toes, lengthen out your legs, press your tailbone back and rise up to a little cobra. Bring your chest back down, tuck your toes and push back to downward facing dog. Once again, pedal your feet. Looking to your hands. Take big steps forward till you reach the front edge of your mat. Let yourself float forward, opening up the toes as you do. Grab your elbows and sway from side to side. Coming back to center, let your arms fall to the floor and roll your shoulders right and left. Turn your head from right to left, and then a little yes with the head. Bring our knees bent, hands to the hips, shoulders back, lift your chin, push down through your feet to rise to a standing position. Release your arms and bring your hands to your heart center. Let's now raise the arms up over the head, grab the left wrist and stretch to the right. You may notice that this morning I wore a watch. It's to gauge my heart rate because I had a few questions from people doing the videos wondering just how many calories these burn. Rise back up to standing, grab the right wrist and go over to the left now and breathe here. So the answer is, with this sequence, I burned 230 calories. Come back up to center. And bring your hands together and into the upper back. Lean back a little bit, lifting the chin. Stretching the front of the body once again, legs strong, hips forward. Then stretch the arms straight, come to a good standing position. Find your perfect posture now, lifting the chest. Hips back, legs strong. Deep breath in, rise up. And breathing out, fold forward, bending at the knees. Halfway lift, breathe in. And step back to a plank position. If you'd like to do a push-up, you could do a push-up here, or just lower the knees and lower your chest to the floor. Pointing your toes, lengthen out your legs. Push up to a cobra. Bring your chest back down and push back to downward facing dog. Deep breaths in and out. As you stay here, just mentally check your posture. Cover your legs. Your back, open the shoulders, to your hands, big steps forward, halfway lift, folding forward, hands to the hips, elbows up, push down and rise to standing, hands come to your heart center, deep breath in, raise the arms, stretch skyward, breathing out, fold forward, halfway lift, breathing in, step back to your plank position. Move your knees down. You could do a push-up if you wish. Point your toes, rising up to cobra, and bring your chest back down for downward facing dog. Deep breaths again, in and out. Looking to your hands, big steps forward. Halfway lift, breathe in, breathe out, fold forward. Hands to your hips, elbows down, rise to standing. Hands to the heart center. And again, let's rise, breathe in, fold, breathing out. Come to the halfway lift, stepping back to your plank position. Move yourself down with or without a push-up. Point your toes, rise to cobra. Bringing your chest back down, push back to downward facing dog. From here, step your feet forward to get into a crouching cat position. Tilt your hips up and bounce up and down a few times, bending the knees lower. Good. Up and down. Then we'll turn the heels to the right and bounce 5 times. The hips go out to the side. Come back to center and then switch heels to the left and bounce 5 times. Back to center. Now bouncing forward and back for engagement in the shoulders. Shoulders go over the hands and back again. Then big steps forward. Take a halfway lift and take your block. If you don't have a block, you could put a pillow between your knees. Squeeze the block or squeeze the pillow and rise to a chair position. Raise your arms high and then bring them into cactus 5 times. Breathing in, breathe out into cactus. Squeezing the block, hips going back. Hands to the heart center, fold forward. Take the block out from between the knees. Come to a halfway lift, stepping back to a plank position. Bring your knees down. You could do a push-up or not. Come up into cobra. Chest comes back down and push back to downward facing dog. Bring your right leg up between the hands. Spin the left heel. Right elbow to the right thigh. Left hand onto the hip. Once you find a good position, raise the left arm over the head. Reach diagonally. Now you could stay here or you could reach with both arms diagonally. This is a very strong core muscle isometric move where you're holding with the core. Rise up to warrior 2, reverse your warrior, and then move back down again and into a plank position. Push up or not, all the way down into cobra and downward facing dog. Now take your left leg forward between the hands. Spin the right heel down, left elbow to the thigh, right hand onto the hip. Set yourself in a good diagonal position, right arm over the head, reaching, and hand down to foot. If you'd like, you could raise your left arm as well. Holding, get the core muscles engaged, belly in, perineum up. Rise back up to warrior 2 and reverse your warrior, moving back down again and into plank position. Push up or not, all the way down, rise to cobra and downward facing dog. From here, bring your right knee down and raise the left arm, raising the left leg. Hold it here. Now you can bend the left knee and touch the heel just with the middle finger of the left hand. Just touch, no grabbing. Open the chest, look skyward, then bring the left hand back down. Keep the left leg up. Reach your right arm out in front of you. Hold the position and then bring the right arm behind See if you can get the right middle finger to the heel. Keep the heel up. Keep engagement in the glute. Bring the hand back down, stretch the leg back out behind you, tuck the toes and rise to downward facing dog. Right leg is up, bend the knee and open the hip. Now stretch the leg and swing the right knee between the hands. Now you can come into a position that's called 90-90, where your front leg is at 90 degrees, your back leg at 90 degrees, and bring your elbows down in front of you. Or you can come into the pigeon position where you stretch the back leg out behind you, and you come down on your elbows as well. You could also stretch your arms out in front of you and bring your forehead to the floor. Find which position suits you today. Stretching out the outside of the hip and the glute. And reset the hands under the shoulders, tucking the back toes under, lift up and into down dog, raising the right leg back up to the sky. Hold it here. Nice engagement of the glute after stretching it out. The leg stays up. And then lower the leg back down and into downward facing dog. Next, the left knee comes down. The right arm goes up to the sky. Raise your right leg. Then we bend the right knee and see if you can touch with the middle finger, just the heel. Just hold it. Good. This creates good engagement in the glute and the hamstring. And bring the right hand back down, stretch the right leg behind you, and now it's your left hand that comes around behind you. Bend the knee, see if you can touch the heel with the middle finger. Hold it there. Keep the engagement. Releasing the hand down, stretch the right leg straight, tuck the toes under, and rise up to down dog with the left leg rising high. Bend the knee, open the hip. And stretch the leg. Bring the knee in between both hands. You can get into 90-90 on the left-hand side. Elbows come down over the front knee. Or you could come into a pigeon position, turn the hips forward, and bring your elbows down. You could also stretch your arms out in front of you, forehead comes down to the floor. Bring the hands back onto the mat, tuck the back toes under, getting ready. Lift the left leg up and into down dog as high as you can with the left leg. Open the toes of the left foot. And we'll bring the left leg back down to the floor, pedal the feet. Moving into a plank position. Hold the plank. Take deep breaths in and out of the chest. Keep the engagement. Keep the belly pulling in tightly. Keep the arms strong. Legs strong, head is lifted, Stay in the position. Then bring both knees down and come into child's pose. Relax the low back. The back should feel long and releasing in child's pose. Hips move back to the heels, head is down. In preparation for the next exercise, we're going to come back up into crouching cat. So get ready for a crouching cat position. Toes are tucked under, hips are lifted, and shoulders are almost over the hands. Knees are bent. Now we're going to take the right leg, bring it under the body, and stretch it towards the left-hand side of the mat. The left hand can come to the ear, and then you switch. Left leg goes under the body, and you twist, and then you switch. Right leg under the body, you twist left hand to the ear. Take a look at the video if you're not sure what's going on. This is a new move for many of you. The leg goes out and you twist. Very good for the core and for the waist. Working also the hips and the glutes. Right leg goes out, left hand to the ear, come back. Left leg goes out, right hand to the ear, and come back. Bring the knees back down, get back into child's pose and rest. Let's come back up and move the legs back so you can come onto your tummy. Arms go wide, fingertips on the floor. Bring the knees apart and bend your knees so the big toes touch each other. Lift the head and chest, and then lift the thighs or the knees as high as possible. Then lift the arms out to the sides. This can be called parachute, the parachute position. It's as if you're flying down through the air towards the earth, and this is the position that you would take with your body. Come on back down, stretch the legs back out onto the floor. And bring your hands by your chest, feet hip width. Lift your head, chest, shoulders, and hands, and then also lift your legs. It's the grasshopper position. So you can peel the kneecaps up off the floor. Hands hover above the floor, and release and come back down. Hands under the forehead, relax your legs, relax your low back. Now we'll bend our knees, grab the ankles. If it's too difficult to grab the ankles, just clasp your hands behind you. Take a deep breath in and rise up to bow pose. Lifting up through the chest, lift the knees, take deep breaths here. And you'll notice that as I'm breathing, there is a rocking motion back and forth. Please don't force this motion, just let the rocking happen with your breath. Hands under the shoulders, bring the legs down. Push back onto the knees, bring the right hand off the mat and stretch out the left-hand side of the body. Hips move back. No sitting on the heels this time. This is a modified puppy dog pose. Left hand comes off the mat, right hand on top, hips go back. And coming back to center, let's walk our knees forward. Either open the knees, cross the ankles, roll over, or you could bring your feet to one side and roll over to a seated position. If you have a block or a pillow, take it with you. If you have a tennis ball, take it with you as well. Roll down onto your back. Let's get ready for bridge poses. Elbows into the floor, squeeze your shoulder blades behind you. Feet hip width and raise the hips. some deep, slow breaths in this position. Then we're going to work the glutes a little bit. Walk your feet in towards each other just a bit. Raise your right leg up and begin pressing up to the ceiling. We'll do about 10 presses. Push down into the left foot. Use that left glute to raise the hips. Bring the right foot back down. Reset and raise your left leg. And begin pressing up to the sky. Use that left hip, the right hip, to get the hips up. Bring the left leg back down. Separate your feet. Again, lift the hips up higher and hold here. If you'd like to take full bridge pose, set your hands now, coming up to the full bridge. Full bridgers, meet us in half bridge. Half bridgers, arms over the head. Roll down one vertebra at a time, bringing the hips down to the earth. Once the hips are all the way down, soles of the feet together, knees wide, or you could stretch your legs straight out, feet hip width on the mat. From here, raise the knees. Raise your arms to the sky and open your left arm out towards the left. The right hand comes next to the right ear and you'll roll onto your left hand side, legs lifted off the floor. You're balancing on your arm and on your hip. Bend your right knee as you lift the upper body. Breathe out. These are side crunches. Lift the knee. See if you can bring the elbow and the knee towards each other. Both legs stay up off the floor. If it's too much, you could keep your left leg down. If you want to go farther, you bend both knees up to the chest. 2 and 1 more. Good. Lie back down onto your back. Stretch your arms up to the sky. Bring your right hand down by your side. Left hand goes to the ear. Roll onto your right hand side, legs off the floor. Breathing out, lift, elbow and knee come towards each other. And it's about 10 times. Both legs suspended up above the floor. If you need to, you could lower the right leg down to the floor, but keep working with the left knee to the elbow. If you want to do both knees, 3 more times. Bend them in. And then come on back down. Roll onto your back. Arms stretched straight up to the sky. Clasp your hands now behind your head. Elbows open. Legs straight to the sky. And then lower the legs diagonally. Lift the head and shoulders and breathe out as you lift up as high as possible. See if you can get your ribs moving down towards the hips. And then if you'd like to go farther, bend both knees in and stretch the legs diagonally. Breathing out, knees in, stretch out diagonally. Keep going. Breathing out as you lift, stretch the legs, and then raise the legs to the sky. Stretch your arms out to the sides. Bring your knees at 90 degrees. You're going to do a figure 8 with the knees. To the right, to the left, to the right again, and back to center. Then we figure 8 to the left, to the right, to the left again, and back to center. Now this time we'll do right, left, and at the right you can stretch your legs straight and raise them back up to center. Left, right, And to the left, stretch the legs straight and bring them back up to center. If it's too much, continue with bent knees, figure eights. To the right again, stretch the legs back to center. It's quite intense. And to the left, the right, the left, stretch the legs straight and back to center. One more time on each side. Right, left, right, stretch the legs back up to center, and then left, right, left, stretch the legs back to center. Good. Bring the knees down, feet to the floor, arms stay wide. Allow both knees to fall out to the right, spinal twist. Raise the left knee first, right knee follows, and allow your knees to fall to the left. Turn your head to the right, spinal twist. Raise the right knee up, left knee follows. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Grab behind the left thigh and pull the knees in towards the shoulders. Gently stretch your left leg, grab behind the calf, or if you wish, you can grab either underneath the foot or on the toes, and you get more of a stretch into the calf muscles. Release. Uncross the legs, grab the inner thighs, and allow the feet and the knees to open. And give gentle pressure just at the inner thighs. Give a little bit more of a stretch of the inner thighs. Then if you wish, you could straighten your legs, feet flexed. Inner thigh stretch. Rebend your knees. Bring the knees back together and cross the left ankle over the right thigh, pulling the knees towards the shoulders. Then straighten the right leg, grab behind the calf, or you could grab the bottom of the foot or the toes and pull them towards you to get that calf stretch. Releasing, rebend the knee. This time, let the soles of the feet come together, the knees go wide, and you'll pull the feet towards you while opening the knees with your elbows. Another type of inner thigh stretch. And you can grab the bottoms of the feet or the toes and stretch the legs as wide as possible. Releasing this, bend the knees. And take your tennis ball, if you have one, place it underneath the low back. If you do not have a tennis ball, you could just bring the knees to the chest and rock from side to side. If you have the tennis ball, rock your hips from side to side on the tennis ball. If you want to massage that lower fascia all around the sacrum, And you can make little circles on the tennis ball, round and around. And then change the direction of the circle on the tennis ball, massaging the sacral region. Take the tennis ball out from underneath. Then take your block or your pillow. Place it underneath your hips, either flat underneath. If you have the block, you could bring it a little bit higher on its long side, or you could place it on its very, very highest position on the short side. Be sure the block is stable and stretch your legs to the sky. Arms down by your sides, and you're in Viparita Karani. Take some deep, slow breaths here. Just feel how gravity takes over, and you can actually feel the lymph being pulled down through the legs. It may create a little bit of pressure at the neck, face, or eyes. If you have any concerns in the eyes, glaucoma or detached retina, you could raise the head as high as the hips, the head and the shoulders, so there's no pressure in the head. And now rebend the knees, set the feet flat on the floor, lift the hips, take the block out from underneath, raise your arms once again over your head, and bring your back down one vertebra at a time, very, very slowly. And once you're all the way down, you can bring your arms down by your sides and turn your head from side to side, relaxing your neck. Then let your knees go from side to side, relaxing the hips and the low back. And let's stretch our legs out onto the floor and move the feet from side to side. Turn the palms to the sky. And begin taking deep, slow breaths in and out of the tummy. Getting ready for Shavasana. Relax your hands and your feet, your wrists and your ankles, knees and elbows, hips and shoulders. Relax the entire back, the tummy and the chest, neck and throat, jaw, all of the muscles of the face, and the head. And allow your thoughts to go wherever they wish. Just allow yourself to let go. Relaxing the brain means letting it go wherever it wants to. Stay here for another minute if you wish with the music, or after the music is finished for as long as you like. Namaste.